A very good morning to you. Good morning. It is the 15th day of July 2025. This is Morning Cafe. How hot is your coffee this morning? It is World Youth Skills Day. A day set aside by the United Nations, of course, to celebrate youth skills. And the theme this year is youth empowerment through AI and digital skills. 194 days into the year. This is Morning Cafe once again. My name is Anne Odida-Dibo.
And I'm Dibala. I will lay me down to sleep and I will awake again because the good Lord sustains me. And I'm so glad to see you this morning, wherever you're joining us from. And yes, we're also preparing some hot coffee that is brewing for you in the show this morning.
Absolutely.
I trust you slept very well and you've woken up well as well.
All right, let's take a look at the local dailies. We start off with Taifa Leo. Nijaribuni Mimi Gen Z. That's the headline there.
Reckless talk. This is what is holding the front page of the Daily Nation today.
The Standard muzzled by state.
We take a look at the People Daily. Matiangi, prepare for a 2002 moment.
Business Daily, state to privatize part of Kisumu Malaba SGR line. We'll be back to take a look at the local dailies, but meanwhile, the state of the nation.
Yes, State of the Nation today will be focusing, of course, on a raft of issues, confluence of issues, and we're joined by Joe Mutambu, who's a former MP, Mwingi Central, Sabina Shege as well, nominated MP, and James Gakuya, Member of Parliament, Embakasi North. So make sure you tune in for this very interesting, promising conversation that we'll be having.
Starting 6:30 a.m.
Yes.
Later on today, being a Tuesday, it's Biashara Tuesday, I'll be having this big panel here on how Kenya's private sector is investing in youth. I'll be having Jimmy De Leon, a programs lead at Swiss Contact, Caroline Kanja, General Manager, that is the Jupiter Energy, Jane Kamau from NITA, and Benta Kini, a Propeller graduate, now employed at Trade and Plumbers Limited. Basically, this is about the Propeller model that, of course, entails dual apprenticeship.
Yeah, it fits snugly also with your conversation today with the World Youth Day.
Absolutely.
Upskilling and Skilling Day, right?
Perfect timing.
It's very timely.
All right, so let's go over the region. We take a quick overview. This is the East African Trump tariffs Africa braces for impact. And as the global superpowers clash over trade, Africa stands at a crossroads faced with rising tariffs, disrupted exports and shifting supply chains. It's also the end of an era as AGOA expires. That story is on page 4 and 5.
Right, and we thought AGOA will be renewed. Anyway, we'll be looking at that much later.
Trade wars, what is at stake for Africa? Building the future, of course. This is a photo of panelists at the African Locked Conference 2025 in Cape Town, South Africa. And these are African representatives here. We see David Peeling, that is from Financial Times, and of course others here on the front page of the East African. Juba at 14, a quiet, colorless independence anniversary. No fanfare as South Sudan turns another year immersed in conflict. And US-UK push stricter migration with Kenya, intensified vetting with a view to a stemming rising number of migrants, boosting security. That's the East African. Let's go to Uganda now.
Yes, and we have a Daily Monitor. It's all about George Kanye-Ihamba, a life well lived. And he died on July the 14th, 2025 at Nakasero Hospital in Kampala. And from the Supreme Court, he was appointed a member of the Supreme Court of Uganda in 1997 and retired in November 2009. He also was the chairman of the legal committee of the Constitution, that is a constituent assembly that made the 1995 Constitution. And he was born on August 11, 1939 in Kinamba, Kanungu District, Kigezi region. And he has been, of course, a very big pillar in the Constitution of Uganda and the jurisprudence of Uganda as well. One of a kind, Professor George Kanyihamba, who passed on yesterday, was a distinguished legal scholar and judge who contributed immensely to the country's jurisprudence and dispensation of justice and did not shy away from speaking truth to power. And you have the story well tucked away on page 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the Daily Monitor. And of course, also here we say and convey our deepest sympathy and sincere condolences for the family of George, Professor George there. But you can follow the story inside the Daily Monitor today. Also looking at the teaser on top here, America's cut Ugandans' visa stay period to 3 months. Constitutional Court upholds polygamy. That is on page 6. And you have all your tenders inside today's publication of the Daily Monitor.
There's another story here. Incumbent MPs face a tough in joint campaigns, and babies' hepatitis B vaccination starts in August. That's the Daily Monitor. New vision still in Uganda. Government upgrades 1,700 health centers and 168,000 more medics to be recruited. Lab maternity services to improve. That's a boost for Uganda's health sector. And Museveni commissions Busega market. You see a photo here of President Yoweri Museveni.
There is, of course. You can't miss it out with him donning the mask, as always.
As always.
Yeah, it's become a quintessential trademark of Museveni and Janet Museveni as well there.
Yes. Polygamy not against law, Constitutional Court rules. Matters Politics, FDC demands reform of IPOA there. Tribute to Kanyehamba's gavel falls silent. And on the top strip, USA Embassy announces new visa rules. We've talked about that. NRM primaries police issue tough guidelines. And that's the new vision. Tuvuke kule Bongo sasa hivi. Gazeti la Mwananchi. Mchezo mchafu watikisa Chama cha Mapinduzi. Anasema mnyukano watiania ubunge. Wakilishi wa Rindima, rushwa yatajwa kutumika. Wapo watiania hewa kusindikiza vigogo. CCM yashtukia mchezo mzima. Now these are different stories. You get it. It's not one story. So Hamisi Mbeto anasema hapa kwamba unakuta mtu anamshawishi akachukue fomu, anamlipia fedha, anamshawishi mtu asiye na sifa ili kutengeneza watu vivuli. Anajua akiingia nao kwenye ushindani lazima yeye ndiye atapenya. Masala ya siasa kule Bongo. Kikao kazi kwa Ghana. Rais Samia Suluhu Hassan akiongoza kikao cha baraza la mawaziri kilichofanyika Ikulu Chamwino mkoani Dodoma hapo jana. Kikao hicho ni cha mwisho kabla ya kufanyika kwa uchaguzi mwaka huu mwezi Oktoba. Aliokopa shilingi 1,050 adaiwa shilingi milioni 62.1. Walimu wastaafu na waliopo kazini wamebainika kuwa waathirika wakuu wa mikopo umiza inayotolewa na watu binafsi na kampuni za ukopeshaji zenye riba kubwa isiyoeleweka, huku wengi wao wakikopeshwa bila hata kuwa na mkataba halali. Baadhi ya walimu hao wamejikuta wakikatwa fedha zao. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa pili wa gazeti hili la Mwananchi. Vidokezo vingine, sura 2 kujiuzulu kwa balozi polepole. Tanzania wako na majina kweli. Leo ni sura 2, tena ilikuwa polepole. Kule juu, ugonjwa unaoathiri watoto kimya kimya, nyama za pua. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 6 gazeti la Mwananchi.
Right, to pick up the Citizen, this is what you're waking up to on the front page of the Citizen today. Why Tanzania's textile industry is struggling. From a peak of 33 operational mills in 2017, the number has shrunk to just 3 currently, with the decline being attributed to, among other factors, the impact of structural adjustment programs and trade liberalization policies. You have a story on page 2 of the Citizen today. And we have also Adam Zuku saying this, quote unquote, the result of this unchecked inflow is a market saturated with imported goods, making it impossible for local mills to compete effectively. You can follow that story, as I've said, on page 2 of the Citizen today. Samia chairs last cabinet meeting ahead of elections. This is it. And you can see him holding court with the cabinet there yesterday. Just reading the caption, it says President Samia Suluhu Hassan chairs a cabinet meeting at That is Chamwino State House in Dodoma yesterday. It was the last cabinet meeting ahead of the October general election. You can follow this story inside the publication today. How nose disorder can affect child growth learning. Interesting story there. You need to follow it on page 3. How nose disorder can affect also the development of your child. JK, Tanzania to continue receiving GPE support. That is on page 4. And opposition parties eye disgruntled CCM aspirants. Everyone is gagging for this sit-in CCM as it is right now. And you can follow the story on page 3, picking up, of course, intensity as they're heading towards the general election. And we have Tanzania, Somalia moving to boost bilateral relations. All that about diplomacy on page 4 of the Citizen today. On the international front, it's all about conflict and our Trump envoy in Kyiv as the U.S. pledges Patriot missiles is a story that you want to follow there on page 18. Trump envoy is in Kyiv right now, and you have all the gritty details on page 18 of the Citizen today.
Right, these are news making headlines across the region. Let's take a look at the weather situation across the country, various regions. We start off in Diani, the coastal area. Holiday weather, 23 degrees, feels like 26. Precipitation in Diani today, 1.1 millimeters. It's likely to rain, highs of 27 degrees. Starting 10 a.m. thereabout, kutakuwa na little bit of showers in Diani, but still holiday weather. This is okay. Kisumu.
Yeah, if you want to go beaching there, I think that is a providential time to do so in Diani.
In Kisumu, it's 18 degrees. This morning feels like it, partly cloudy through the day, highs of 27 degrees. And precipitation here in Kisumu, 0.4 millimeters. Comfortable weather for Kisumu, not bad. Baringo, Rift Valley region, 21 degrees, feels like 25 this morning, very hot. Partly cloudy, 30 degrees throughout the day. And precipitation in Baringo, 0.4 millimeters. Twende kule Muranga, it's 16 degrees. This morning feels like it, partly cloudy as well. 24 degrees, highs of 24 degrees. Precipitation here, 0.0 millimeters in Muranga, no chances of rain. How about Machakos? How unajua hawananga maji? So let's see if there's something here. 13 degrees this morning in Machakos, feels like it. It's clear with periodic clouds, highs of 22 degrees. And
at least there's something.
Yes.
Watu wa Mayakos, they can actually shukuru Mungu sana.
In shower kidogo to 20%. At 0.3 millimeters, at least it will help though. Lakini they're being told
it will cool down, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the environment there a bit.
Let's cross over to Garissa. 23 degrees this morning, feels like 25. Clear skies, highs of 33 degrees. Precipitation here in Garissa, 0.0 millimeters. Can actually hang your clothes in Garissa today. And then finally, city under the sun, Nairobi, 14 degrees, feels like it. Partly cloudy, highs of 22 degrees. The weather yesterday wasn't that bad. And I see we are seeing that today as well. It will likely rain starting 4 p.m. into the night. Precipitation in Nairobi, 0.9 millimeters. It's around 12 minutes past 6. Tuangalie traffic. Major tributaries to town. Panakaa vipi? It's green this morning, but right here, Muthaiga interchange, usually this is a trouble spot. It's building up slowly. You see this red here. That means if you can leave right now, then you'll be safe. If you go way back to Thika Road, there's a little bit of a snarl up here around KCA University as well. That is Survey. And it's clear all the way Garden City, Kule Nyuma. Usually it's trouble here at Garden City. So it's clear if you want to escape that traffic around the Muthaiga interchange, then you can leave now. Kiambu Road clear. You can escape that now. If you go way back, there's something here at Kamukunji area around Gikomba Market. Kuna a little bit of a snarl up there as well. Jogoo Road building up slowly as well around the Makadara area. There's a red here and some yellow. Matatu ziko hapo na kuna kajam kameanza kuja hapo. On your way to town, on your way back, of course, kienda kule chini, on the other side of Makadara, it's clear. TAS here, right here, Feather Estate, building up slowly on your way to town. And on the other side of town, hawa watu wa work from home, clear, clear, clear all the way. Wayaki Way, clear, 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 clear. So that's the traffic situation this morning, 14 minutes past 6. And let's take a look at the quote of the day. If nothing breaks you, nothing builds you. Growth isn't found in flawless days, it's earned in the cracks, scars, and comebacks. Let's come back and take a look at the local dailies. We start off with Taifa Leo. Ni jaribuni mimi Gen Z is the headline here on the front page of Taifa Leo. Matiangi asema ana takribani sifa zote za kiongozi ambazo vijana wa kizazi kipya wanahitaji katika rais ajaye. Vigezo ni kwamba Matiangi ajisifu kuwa yeye si mkabila, ni mchapakazi, ndio ufagio wa kufagilia mbali uozo serikalini, na kwamba yeye si mkongwe katika siasa za Kenya. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa pili. Na Daktari Fred Matiangi amenukuliwa hapa akisema kwamba mimi si mzee, sina doa la ufisadi na ninazungumza Kiswahili. Siko katika orodha ya wawaniaji ambao wamepigwa marufuku na Gen Z kwa sababu mimi ndimi mwaniaji wao bora na kiongozi wa kunyoosha mambo wanayemtaka.
Akisema yeye si mkongwe katika siasa za Kenya. He's never been a politician. Yes, so this will be his first time outside the gate to actually, he's been a cabinet minister, which was taken to be a technocrat. Yeah? So he's never held any political position before. So we wonder where was the sunset for him when it comes for the political ambitions or political career. Yeah, so he's never been a career politician.
And
he seems to be very optimistic, bullish, very interesting interview that he had yesterday.
But the Gen Z is really up for Matiangi, as he says, the Gen Z is wanamtaka yeye. Nijaribuni mimi Gen Z. Well, we'll ask the Gen Zs on Friday if we'll have them here, from the youth perspective. Watuambie wanaona vipi. All right, Ishungwa, vidokezo vingine. Ishungwa, Kiunjuri waonya Gachagua kwa kuwaita wasaliti. Kiongozi wa wengi Kimani Ichung'wah na mbunge wa Laikipia Mashariki Mwangi Kiunjuri wamepinga vikali madai yaliyekuwa naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua kuwa wao ndio adui wa umoja wa Mlima Kenya kwa kushirikiana na utawala wa Rais William Ruto. Nitakufa na Ruto, asema Wandai. Okay. Afokea upinzani akitaka umpe rais muda atimize ahadi zake kama watangulizi wake.
Nitakufa na rais, asema Wandai. Right, that's the sound of psychophancy there, as you can see it. It reminds me also of Eda Duale some years back when he said, if Ruto tells me to jump from KICC, right, down to the ground, I do not break my leg. If he promises that I will not break my legs, actually, I will jump. Oh, wow. Yeah, I can take one for Ruto, so we can see.
The same with Wandai.
Opi Wandai as well is just pronouncing those some sentiments that were there from also Eden Duale tripping off his tongue.
The Standard calls him Ruto's blue-eyed boy. That is Eden Duale. Kibet wa Kenya karibu kusainiwa na Salta Vigo. Ripoti zasema Aldrin atasajiliwa kwa shilingi bilioni 1. On the top strip of Taifa Leo, IEBC, hakuna njama yoyote ya kuiba kura. Tume mpya sasa yaonya viongozi wanaosema serikali ina mpango wa kuiba kura. Na muujiza wa Chelsea wasagasaga PSG finali ya klabu bingwa duniani, gazeti la Taifa Leo.
And of course, so this is also what is on the front page of the Daily Nation. Sentiments from IBC regarding elections, reckless talk. This is what is the headline. Elections, political leaders make charge declarations during public rallies across the country is what the flagger is reading on top there. Loose cannon, looking at the sub-headline. There's a probing question there. With just over 2 years to the next general election, some politicians associated with the Kenya Kwanza administration have started sowing seeds of discord. With utterances about rigging the 2027 presidential contest, the new IBC team has denounced their claims, while opposition leaders want action taken off the offenders. You have a story on page 4 of the Daily Nation today, and their faces are displayed here with the utterances. Baringo North MP Joseph Makilap, who said, Dr. Ruto must stay. Let it not be that when a leader comes from our region, we say he must go. But when from another region, no one pushes such an agenda. Kapsaret MP Oscar Sudi, this is what was tripping off his tongue. Those online critics shouting Ruto must go, whether they jump, go down, or move sideways, Ruto is not going anywhere. Even if his votes won't be enough, we will add them, right? We have Wajir women rep there. This is Fatuma Jeho. She's saying, quote unquote, when it comes to the president, we say 2 terms. We're just waiting for the ballot. Even if we don't have enough votes, we will steal for him. That's not secret. And we have also Tiati MP, William Kamkate, always a loose cannon, as we know him. If they joke around, you know, I come from the county of 24 years. Baringo County knows how to manufacture a president to survive for 24 years. If they joke, we might even extend past the 2 terms. So those are the pronouncements there. These are the reckless talks. And of course, we've seen also the new chair of IBC coming to condemn this sort of utterances that puts the IBC on the spot, and of course also undermining the credibility even of 2027 before we head there. Lagat resumes office as bid to stop return flops. That is a story that you want to follow on page 7. We had it yesterday, and of course it did rounds. So if you want all the gritty details of it, you can follow it on page 7 of the publication today. A dose of music. And just to refresh you a bit, pupils for Moses Kiptonwe Primary School in Uasin Gishu County can be seen here performing a Marakwet folk dance. You can follow the story. If it's there, actually, this is a standalone picture. You can actually just look at it on the front page of the Daily Nation today. On the sidebar, ghost staff reveal plumbers and teachers pose as health workers in 9 billion shillings UHC scandal.
Oh, wow. That's
a story that you want to follow it on page 2. And when it comes to matters academia, the release of capitation funds, we have school heads now demanding this capitation as cash war bites. Principals of public secondary schools have demanded that the government release over 18 billion shillings or to the institutions since the beginning of the calendar year, warning that the shortfall has negatively affected learning. And this story continues on page 10 of the publication this morning. Chelsea's Iceman Palmer puts the chill on PSG in Club World Cup. Finally have a story on page 35 of the Daily Nation today. Yeah, if it really floats your boat, you might want to pick it up and look at those stories. That's the Daily Nation.
All right. The Standard, muzzled by state, tortured by service. A public servant in Nanyuki is living proof of the damage police brutality inflicts on society. This is Chief Martin Kariuki Rienye, right here on the front page. The latest victim of deadly police violence while in custody is now a broken man. Gagged from speaking to the media, he's trapped in a cruel dilemma, standing with a grieving public demanding justice or serving a government whose own officers caused his daughter's death. And
this is really a heart-wrenching story. Indeed, you're really caught up in that sharpest age on the horns of dilemma. You as a public officer, and now you have your dear daughter who has been brutally assaulted there in the police custody, and now she's dead. And you cannot utter anything in the public because of your office. What do you do? And this is where he's caught in between, you know, the rock and the hard place as a father. and the public outcry. We had the protester in Nyanyuki yesterday demanding the truth regarding the death of Julia, who was taken to custody, and now she's no more, just as we are centering and the country is focusing on police brutality.
Just at 24 years old. And the grandmother is here, the mother to the chief. She says he cannot serve a government that killed his daughter. I told the deputy county commissioner to fire him if he's too afraid to act. 30,000 shillings salary a month. Oh wow, it's not worth my grandchild's blood. I've told him you can't wear a badge with pride when that badge is silent about your child's death. That is Susan Kirigo Rienye, mother to the chief. Amesema, you have to go. In battle, DIG walks back to office. Elid Lagat was saluted by his juniors at Vigilance House yesterday and later met his boss, the IG. Even as IPOA issued a statement indicating he's not out of the woods yet. Investigations are still ongoing.
Right, I'm walking away from the troubles in my life.
Looks like
he's just walking away, just walking back to the office as easily as that. But it is good to note that still the investigations are underway. So they had to come out and give that clarification yesterday. And of course, we had also the Interior Minister saying that he's going to give at least the state of the play as far as the security is concerned today. He's going to be addressing the media. We'll be also eagerly waiting to hear from the Interior Ministry, who will also speak to this particular, who will speak also to this particular event that we had yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you. Kenya takes part in trials of fast malaria treatment for newborns in the inside pages. Music festival echoes with sacred sounds. On the back page, Aldrin Kibet from dusty roads of Poror to alluring streets of La Liga. The former St. Anthony's Kitalister is set to seal a historic move to Salta Vigo today. His parents travel to Spain to grace the signing ceremony. That's the Standard. People Daily.
Matiangi is preparing for the 2002. He says, prepare for a 2002 moment. I don't know where Annie you were then, right? So if you can remember this particular moment in 2000, it was such a euphoric moment for the country. People really came out and forced at Uhuru Park. We've never seen such a number then. And they were really waiting for that inflection moment of the country, coming from the barnacles, coming from the shackles of the previous regime, that people were saying, yes, we had the president leading this country for 24 good years. And it was such a refreshing moment. So this is what Matiangi is alluding to. There is no path for a return of the Ruto presidency. We can't see any way he can win. We're looking at a peaceful transfer of power. And this is the assurance he's giving. Well, this is according to him. And you can follow his story on page 4. This was a sit-down interview he had yesterday at K24 with, of course, the two journalists there. A raft of issues that has been raised, and you have all the gritty details there inside the People Daily this morning. Also, this is what the principals are talking about, the cash shortfalls threatening school operations. It's all about the capitation, and we're living in hard times, I should say. Something almost just stripped up my tongue as well. But you can follow the story on page 8. How indisciplined nominated ward reps will be recalled. That story is on page 5 of the People Daily today.
All right. Business Daily, state to private as part of Kisumu-Malaba SGR line. They say Kenya will hand over the operation of the upcoming SGR line from Naivasha to Malaba to a private investor in a strategic shift aimed at easing the financial burden at the mega infrastructure project on taxpayers. The two phases of the SGR extension from Naivasha to Kisumu and onward to Malaba are expected to cost approximately 645.95 billion shillings. That is around $5 billion. This is according to Transport Cabinet Secretary Davis Chirchir. And he said the government will finance the construction of the railway infrastructure while a private investor will supply the rolling stock. Now, because we are out of time, let's just take a quick look at this. Rush for bonds as T-bill rates decrease. On the ticker, petrol price jumps at 8 shillings and 99 cents.
This is a big jump. This is a big jump. And yesterday, of course, we had journalists also asking, is this real right? 8.99, actually 9 shillings a litre. And this is because of the Israel and Iran war. This was bound to happen. Yeah, it was not a matter of when, but, or of if, but when. And this is it. So we'll see everything really going up with this particular development, the price of petrol, which has just jumped to 9 in a litre in Nairobi in the wake of last month's Israel-Iran war. Right.
All right, we also have the Star newspaper. We don't have the copy here. But on the front page, President's tough job of quelling Gen Z crisis. They had a similar headline yesterday on the front page. Political maneuvering, struggling, economy, complicated situation. This story is on page 4 to 5. And of course, as always, the Star, fresh, independent and different. You can grab a copy at only 60 Kenyan shillings. Oh, today being a Tuesday, it's not for sale. I'm sorry for that. The Star is not for sale today. Before we take a look at the caricatures, on the State of the Nation once again.
Yeah, just to give a teaser as well is John Mutambu that we'll be speaking with, former MP Mwingi Central. Also, Salvina Shege is going to be here, nominated MP, and James Gakuya, MP Embakasi North. A lot of issues that we'll be discussing, and that particular bullish statement by Dr. Matiangi about the 2002 moment. Of course, that will be a big question. Will it just be peaceful, as it's deemed by him as well?
All right, it's Biashara Tuesday once again. We'll be speaking to these ladies and of course gentlemen on how Kenya's private sector is investing in youth. Tuangalie caricature. Harry is here. Okay, can take it.
Yeah, we want it. We want it all. 100% of Ukraine, no question. And you can see this is what is happening with the current state of play as far as Russia and Ukraine is concerned. We want it all. Putin is not, taking any chances with Ukraine as it is right now. And you can see that is how the state of play is looking in Ukraine. You know the story. There's nothing much about this, but this is what is happening in Russia-Ukraine war. And you can see we have the U.S. envoy also in Ukraine right now, just standing in solidarity with Ukraine.
That's the Standard. This is the Daily Nation. Leaders are here. Tribal cards, protests, leaders. What do you make of it?
Yeah,
Eva?
this is the cows of Baba, as you can see. Yeah, we have Jeanette with the horns jutting out there. He's always been very categorical that he's a cow. Sisi ni ng'ombe ya Baba. Yeah, so that is how the card is being played out right now. Who do we pick? Who do we drop? This is the current political play. KK, a broad-based government on one hand, and the tribal card on the other. So how do you juggle the pieces there so that you may make sure that you actually maintain your own political block, right? So that you don't lose it at that. So this is the way it is right now, and this is Victor from the Daily Nation. All
right. Finally, People Daily. A caricature here of President William Ruto and Donald Trump. But our president is quoted here in Asema kwamba free healthcare, free affordable houses, free education, best police force in the world, zero demonstrations. Very good. Where did you learn how to make such beautiful promises? Oh, wow. Okay.
It's easy to make the promises, but how good are you at keeping the promises? That's the question. And ambiguity. And they normally say also we're living in the post-truth era, right? Where truth is no longer truth. Maybe you're just using also ambiguity and the promises as your electoral assets. But when it comes now to delivering, that's a different question.
All right, and there's something here. Trump's good English remarks fuel an online furore across Africa. He told the Liberian president that he has a very good English. Asked him where he learned his English from. All right. Do interact with us on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube, on X at TV47 News KE. My handle on X is at @Ann_Dida. The hashtag is Morning Cafe.
Adibel and Air. That is my X handle.
See you after the break.
is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's minds. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.
Don't allow anyone to pluck out your good tooth as long as it is strong and stable.
Cancer doesn't start today and you get the symptoms tomorrow. By the time you pick it or the time it is manifesting in you, probably will be there about 5 to 10 years.
The eye is the window to the rest of the body.
Don't forget to stay hydrated.
And of course, you at home do take your water.
So the ultimate test is actually you check your urine. Your urine should be clear.
Clear like the water?
Yes. Should be able to see the other side of the urine. If your urine is colored or has changed color, you cannot see the other side, then you have not taken enough water.
Don't forget regular health checkups. Early detection saves lives.
I want the message be, we can prevent cervical cancer. We prevent cervical cancer in several ways. You have young girls and even somebody who's above that age, you can pay at least every 3 years. Somebody should have a pap smear done.
If you are 40, 45, 50, going upwards, once a year, please go see a doctor. Yeah, it's just for normal routine maintenance.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's minds. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.
Don't allow anyone to pluck out your good tooth as long as it is strong and stable.
Cancer doesn't start today and you get the symptoms tomorrow. By the time you pick it or the time it is manifesting in you, probably will be there about 5 to 10 years.
The eye is the window to the rest of the body.
Don't forget to stay hydrated.
And of course, you at home, do take your water.
So the ultimate test is actually you check your urine. Your urine should be clear.
Clear like the water.
Yes. Should be able to see the other side of the urine. If your urine is colored or has changed color, you cannot see the other side.
All right, welcome back to Morning Cafe, where we want to buckle down and have a discussion now with our panelists who are already here in the studio. And of course, this is promising to be a very interesting discussion on confluence of issues that we want to tackle this morning, following also that development that we have had regarding the staying in office of the deputy the IG, that is Lagat as well. We want to discuss that, and we want to look also at the preparation of the IBC towards the 2027 election. Just as we know it, right now we have them shaken into place, where we have the commissioners plus the chair. And of course, they've given also pronouncements regarding some of these utterances that we've had from some of the leaders that we were talking about just on the other side of the break, looking at what is on the front page of the Daily Nation, reckless talk regarding the 2027 elections from some of the legislators, saying that there could be some monkey business regarding the elections, as it were. And also, we've had the former CS really giving also a stern warning regarding this monkey business on the issue of elections as well. But just to set the segue for our discussion as well, we have the story for you regarding that particular development of staying in office right now of the deputy IG.
The ongoing probe by the Independent Policing Oversight Authority into the death of Albert Ojwang in police custody has lasted close to a month now, to which so far at least 6 police officers have been charged with the murder of Ojwang, including Central Police Station OCS Samson Talam and Constable James Mukwana. Albert's death also prompted massive pressure and demand for the resignation of Deputy Inspector General of Police Eliud Lagat, as he was the senior officer who filed the initial complaint that led to Ojwang's arrest. This mounting pressure and intense scrutiny would lead to DIG Eliud Lagat voluntarily stepping aside from this role to allow for investigations by IPOA. However, for the better part of today and yesterday, social media has been abuzz, with reports emerging that Lagat is set to resume office after investigations reportedly found no direct link between him and the fatal assault on Ojwang. Reports that IPOA has refuted. In its statement today, Chairperson Ahmed Isaac Hassan emphasized that the probe remains active and that no officer, including DIG Lagat, has been exonerated. Hence, the reports on DIG Lagat's clearance are misleading. Isaac Hassan further stating that if the investigations find Lagat culpable, IPOA will make appropriate recommendations to hold him to account. However, Deputy Inspector General of Police Eliud Lagat will remain in office at least for now. This follows a decision by Justice Chacha Mwita, who declined to issue temporary orders that would have barred Lagat from discharging his functions under the National Police Service Act. For now, investigations into Albert Ojwang's death remain active as the nation watches closely for justice to prevail. Sheila Chelangat for TV 47.
Yes, indeed. And of course, cognating with that particular story is also what is on the front page of the Standard today, muzzled by state. Still in the sharpest age of a dilemma is the chief there, who is the father of Julia, a public servant in Nyanyuki. It says is living proof of the damage police brutality inflicts on society. Chief Martin Kariuki Rienye, father to Julia Wangoi, the latest victim of a deadly police violence while in custody, is now a broken man. Gagged from speaking to the media, he's trapped in a cruel dilemma, standing with a grieving public demanding justice, or serving a government whose own officers caused his daughter's death. You have the story well fleshed out for you on page 4 and 5 of the Standard today. This is where I want to pick up with our panelists just to give the sentiments regarding this. Lagat also resuming office as a bid to stop return flops. Just to prime you, I'm holding court with Joe Mutambu, who is a former member of parliament, Mwangi. This is Mwingi Central. And also we have Sabina Shege with us as well, nominated MP. But Sabina, she's not here with us this morning. She's a no-show. So she slept through the alarm as well. So we'll miss her in this panel discussion. James Gakuya is with us this morning. He's a member of parliament in Bekasi North. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
So today it will be a full, deployed testosterons without Sabina Shege being with us as well. But I want to thank you and say Karibu Sana for today's show. Maybe just to have an intro from you, we can begin with you, James Gakuya. First of all, looking at that particular story, the latest development, you've been doggedly following what has been happening regarding the IG. Everyone was anticipating a different case coming out of this, but we have had IPOA saying they're still on it. But what is your take?
Thank you very much. Allow me to salute viewers wherever they are watching this T347 show this morning. And coming to issue on our daily front page papers pertaining to the battle DIG. It is true, in the culture of our Kenya politics, it's who you are who matter, and who is your godfather. And right from the beginning, this particular battle for Lagat, Kenyans indicated their wish, because what happened and what transpired happens on this particular land. Lagat himself, he is the one who was the complainant of the Ojwangi's case. And he was the one who made the commencement of the investigations. And whatever transpired, if I was an investigator, I don't see any single element where I could distance Lagat with this particular whole saga of Ojwang. The reason is, if you are the main complainant, and you made complaint, and where you made complaint to an OB, let me say an OB, and you made a report. Then a team was sent all the way to Homa Bay. They came all the way with Ojwang to Nairobi. All of a sudden, Ojwang was booked in Central Police Station. Instructions were given to the OCS, Central Police Station. The big question, who made instructions? Who gave out instruction to the OCS of Central Police Station? My take is, OCS, Central Police Stations, and the police that are today are carrying the tag of the murder of Ojwang are just sacred cows, because the main person who wanted to see Ojwang taken into particular direction or action was none other but Lagat himself. But today, Lagat is free, but those messengers who are juniors, his juniors, who were directed to take action against Lagat, today are the ones who are facing charges. At what point should IPOA tell and explain to Kenyans at what point did they realize that Lagat was not linked to the whole saga of one Ojwang. My big question is, was there fair? Was there fairness? Was there any justice during the whole saga of IPOA process? My take is, IPOA is a team, is an agency which was compromised at some point. And what I can tell you is that because it seems one Lagat is depending on a very strong hand of a particular godfather, then he's untouchable. He cannot be able to be relinquished from his job. He cannot be part of the one who are now appearing with the tag of this Manda. But this one is telling you he is enjoying a particular protection from above. And this is what we always say, it is impunity. And we need to see this particular kind of impunity coming to an end. Because you can't tell me that the main person who knew, who reported, who complained, today he's a scot-free man and he's back to work. This is pure impunity.
But they say he's not really scot-free. We've had a statement from the IPOA chair saying the investigation is still underway. So it's not really come to the logical conclusion.
But how can you tell us that actually the fellow is back to work and you are still moving on with the investigation? If you have seen the fellow is suitable to get back to work, it tells you have done with him.
So it beats the purpose of him going back to the office where he had actually stepped aside.
IPOA are just massaging Kenyans, but that is the end of it.
All right, let's hear from Joe.
I'm laughing because a few weeks ago,
yes,
I was seated here, and the same matter came up.
Yes.
And I told Kenyans, Lagat is going nowhere. He had just taken a leave. When will you Kenyans believe Mutambo? When? You need to start believing what I tell you. Because this show is not just a show. We discuss very important matters, and we are here to educate Kenyans. And we massaged this subject of Lagat, and I told them that he is heading nowhere. Where is he today? So whatever I told Kenyans is happening today. But the reality is this, that I was informed by what is happening in our government today, that there are people who cannot be touched and there are people who can be touched.
You informed by who?
By the situation.
Okay.
What we are seeing. If you are not against the government, or if you are not from this tribe, your fate is sealed. You have to come from this certain or another one for you to be considered by the government. If you are not from, if it was a Kamukamba, I tell you, sorry to say this, but it is the naked truth. And the people will come by firing at Mutambo, you are tribal. And I will ask you a question. When you tell Mutambo is tribal, why do you name your son Itanui when he is born in some area? Why don't you call them Mutesia? Why do you call him Joroge when he is born in Mount Kenya and you don't call him Mutiso? So that question is for Kenyans to judge. But what I'm telling you is this. You cannot get their judgment from this government.
Right.
Why? Let me explain. It's very important.
Okay.
As we speak, we have...
Right. So let me, because your mic has dropped, I need to fix your mic. So just hold on to that thought, right? Hold on to that thought as Gakuya just picks up on that as well. What he's really saying, why is Gakuya called Gakuya, right? And not Mutisia? This is what also Honorable Mutambo is asking.
Oh.
Yeah, we are atavistically, we as human beings are very, very troublous, right? We always focus on us, never gazing on us.
Me, I would like to make a very, very comparative statement this morning. And I would like to completely say Kenyans are not tribal. Kenyans are tribalist. Today, in business, we mix. You find that whenever you want a vehicle to to be done some panel beating.
Yes.
You look for the best rural mechanic because they are known that they are very good in that particular area, that particular field. If you want to look for tire, you look a second hand, you look for a Kamba because you know they are good with tires and it's known. But let me tell you, where we are, you find in our homesteads, we have security officers, we have gardens, we have maids, and so on. And let me tell you, it works well because there is no that tribalism. The element of tribalism is only brought to forth during when we are heading to elections. And this is brought by politicians. If Kenyans can be asked to live forever, they will intermarry. Today they have intermarried. Kikuyu has intermarried with the Luo, have intermarried with the Kalenjins, have intermarried with every other community in this particular land. So we cannot stand to say we are tribal. But tribal lines are created by politicians. And that's why those who are in power, starting who are in power today, that's why that particular hand and element is coming. Because we want to create tribal lines when we get to power. And it is wrong, because we should remain tribal lines even when we are looking for votes, even when we get to power. But when we get to power, we tend to secure to ourselves. And we tend to lean to ourselves. Today, you witness every appointment, if it is a CEO, if it's a chairman of a particular board, over 80% is one community. Period. We have issues to do with teachers, the new teachers enrollment. Look and ask yourself, ask one who is Auditor General, just to do an audit and tell us who are the biggest beneficiaries of the new enrollment of the 60,000 teachers. You realize they come from Rift Valley. Why? Because people want to lean to their own, want to help their own. This is not the direction we should take. As a government, we must know Kenya is Kenya for us all, and we should squarely serve Kenyans.
Is that a confirmable fact that you're saying they come from Rift Valley? You don't have any.
I know.
You don't have any scrap of proof.
I live in this particular country. Members of parliament from Rift Valley have been given heaps of forms in tunes that actually they could be able to issue them at public rallies. Public rallies. No, where else did you see such kind of scenario?
Who is giving the forms?
Members of parliament.
They're giving to whom?
They were given to the needed trainees. So in that particular case, I'm saying the forms were shared, but they were shared in a particular region. They were not shared nationally. What does that say? What does that show? A single member was distributed over 50 number of forms. All right. 100 number of forms.
From my understanding, I saw the former CS, of course, of that particular docket doing that. But this is new information also, if it's coming also from the members of parliament.
I am telling you, this is the total truth. Okay. That members of that particular region, Rift Valley, they were issued in ballots of forms of teachers. This has never happened ever. No any other single region benefited out of this. I would say maybe from I also heard from few from Muranga, from Central, saying they were given 10 forms. But I can tell you ballots of forms were given out, and I need an audit to be done. This will tell us clearly who are these beneficiaries.
Hang on.
You have an issue with the new enrollment KLI new staffs.
Yeah.
Just do an audit. The audit will tell you where is employment moving. We are moving skewedly. This is should not be the way to go. Kenyans should be left to be treated equally because they serve this country and they are taxpayers, all of them.
Thank you. I think I need to come back to Mutambu here because you lost also your mic a bit, so you have it back, and I hope you've not lost your track of thoughts.
Let me put my statement into context. Having tribes in Kenya and being tribal are two different things. Let's get it correct. We have tribes in Kenya, that's what I'm saying. They are there. And anybody who is saying there are no tribes in Kenya, I don't know what they mean.
Everybody comes from a particular tribe.
Everybody in this country comes from a particular tribe. And that's what I'm saying. Why do you call me Mutambu if I come from Mwingi and he's Kakuria when he comes from... But being tribal is something totally different animal which we need to address. Being tribal is selecting your tribes for favors. Okay? When you are in power, if there's any consideration, either for a job, for a tender, or for anything, you go for your tribe. That is being tribal. Being a Kamba is not a sin. Being a Kikuyu is not a sin. Being a Luo is not a sin. You've been born as a Luo and you will remain as a Luo for the rest of your life. And that's why you name your children as per your names. That's what I meant. My point was on the issue of Lagat. As we sit here, there are several police officers, including an OCS, who is the Chief Inspector of Police, in prison over this matter. Who was the architect of this matter? Where did it originate from? Why did we, omit the root cause of a trouble and we go to the symptoms? Mm-hmm. Because to me, OCS and the young man are symptoms. The real cause is there. Why did we omit him from prosecution? What prompted the prosecution of the OCS? And if it is act of misuse of office, who misused the office? If it's the issue of murder, who perpetuated, who started that movement to go and kill somebody? Who started? So, if what Mutambo is telling Kenyans, you don't listen, then I don't know whether I need to come and do something to your ears so that you can listen to Mutambo and understand the trend we have in this country. And that's why Kenyans are up at arms, because they feel they are tired with this administration. Because if I was the president, the first person I could call to resign, not even to step aside, is Lagat. But when he has not resigned, let me tell you, legally, this man has not resigned, and illegally, this man has not been taken into court for criminal charge so that he can vacate the office. He will still remain a police officer serving, and he is still the police boss. That's my point. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, today we are also expecting the Ministry of Interior, led by the CS, to speak to the media. And this is just to update and appraise the country regarding the current state of play of security in the nation. I think he will be addressing this issue as well. What do you expect from him?
In fact, I am not expecting anything new from him, because a decision is made. If Lagat was cleared to get back to his position, the one CS has no any moral authority to say otherwise. Otherwise, right from the beginning, when one Lagat failed to decide, then the minister, obvious, has powers to sack. I will recommend the sacking to the employer, who is the head of state. Mm-hmm. Today, it has not happened. We have had the same CS calling for youths to be shot to kill wherever they come near any police station. We have heard from the senior most, the CEO of this country, saying that they used to be shot on their legs. Then what else do you think we are going to get new? These are news, the same callers, and I can tell you the deal is sealed, that Lagat is going nowhere. And this is from the top. And therefore, the CS Murkomen is none other to say anything else. When he was talking about his order to shoot those who are near the police station, once he was pushed, he said he was given orders from above. Who else is above? Else from above is now nobody else above of him other than his boss. And therefore, if the boss is the godfather to one Lagat, then nobody will be able to touch him. He will remain untouchable. But let me tell you, you are safeguarding somebody who has adversely mentioned as the one reading the killer's code. Then my big question is, are we going to see this particular crisis coming to an end? Or still, Lagat will still keep on his job of making mysterious disappearance of young Kenyans?
So who actually has mentioned that he is the one leading the killer squad?
It is a public domain. It has not come from Gakuya. It is public domain.
It is in public domain, but we can't even place a figure or a face to it.
This was mentioned by men and women of this country. And he has mentioned, and his adversary mentioned.
All right. Do you in any way design maybe succession politics also within the security apparatus as well? Is it so? Because also we saw recently the appointment of, or reappointments or rescheduling new rounds of appointment and promotions in the KDF as well.
I will not want to poke my nose to the issue of arrangements of or succession issues.
Just as you say, because that has been in the public domain, and the politicization also, they're saying do not
I'm
politicize
saying
security.
I would not want to poke my nose there, because every president, or leader for that matter, they would choose either by merit or by whichever form the people who will serve under them. That one we need to get it clear. I will not stand here and say that Ruto should not appoint this man or that man because he's of this tribe or that tribe. It is the prerogative of the president to appoint whoever he feels fits within their manifesto and within their services. But every institution, every sector, every government office, they have their working scheme which provides how people are promoted or are demoted or services are offered. They have that scheme, working scheme. They know how to how they do it. But when it comes now to political appointments, that is squarely to the person who is in charge. Because I will not say that the president should not do that. Because I'm supporting a candidate. And that candidate, when they come to power, because they will come to power, they will appoint their own people. So it will be negating my thoughts when I say president should not do this, because I expect my president to do the same. So that's not an issue to discuss, because that is left to the president. But the issue of fairness must be addressed. The issue of national balance, because that is what is called for, must be addressed. The issue of following the service charter must be addressed and adhered to.
Thank you.
So the issue of whether there is politics, they play politics everywhere, including in the church.
Fantastic. All right, let's just rest that particular case, because I think it's still developing. We eagerly wait to see what will be coming from the Ministry of Interior today. Just to give us the current state of play as far as security is concerned will be apprised much, much later in the day. And of course, we shall be beaming that right here from TV 47. But I want us just to buckle down on the issue that is also on the front page of a Daily Nation, the reckless talk. And we cognate this particular headline with also IBC, which is in place. It was sworn in last week, and we've had also pronouncements from the IBC chair, Ekathon as well, just speaking to this reckless talks regarding the general election. Some of the faces are displayed here, the politicians that are renowned in this country who, of course, have spoken on how the 2027 elections will be. Loose cannons, with just over 2 years to the next general election. Some politicians associated with the Kenya Kwanza administration have started sowing seeds of discord with utterances about rigging the 2027 presidential contest. The new IBC team has denounced their claims, while opposition leader wants action taken on the offenders. What does it really portend, especially for IBC, which at this particular moment is, not really in favor with good ratings from the public? There's that mistrust. Even with the entire commission, we had injunction in courts because of the swearing in, not the swearing in, but of course during the interviews we had other numbers being added as to it. And people are questioning, where is this really coming from? If you had shortlisted and we had another 5 or 6 figures coming from nowhere, just from the left, what does it portend? What sort of work is ahead? And what do you say about this reckless talks of sowing discord as we're heading towards the 2027 general election?
Thank you. First and foremost, let me say, as of now, let as Kenyans accept the verdict of the court, because the swearing in of this particular commission was charged in court, and an order was issued. But finally, at the tail end, the court dismissed the whole matter and allowed this particular commission to proceed to work. For the purpose of the calendar of this particular country, the country is far much behind on its preparation to an election. Critical report is very clear that any single election of this country must be prepared from within 3 good years, and therefore the commission ought to be in place for the last 1 year. And therefore, any single preparation of this particular line with the election, it also involves what we call review of boundaries. We have witnessed that the 10 years window that our constitution gives this independent commission to review boundaries is overtaken by event because of the delay of this particular commission. Today, we have those constituencies that has a burden because of a high population. They are still going to appear to this particular election as bloated as they are, because the work that ought to be done by this commission has been overtaken by event. Number 2 is that we have pending big task of by-elections, which are more than 5 number. And it is, I would say, it is not fair to leave some constituencies out of service, their serving member, and not fully enjoying the fruits of this country, because constituency level has kitties like CDF, which gives bursaries and many other projects. And when a member is not in office, probably that kind of kitty has nobody to spearhead. And probably the committee that is supposed to be changed through that kind of arrangement probably is not in place. I would like to say members of those constituencies, even Senate, are suffering because they are not reaching out their daily need response. The representation is very key for that particular member, for a particular constituency. Registration for issues affecting to that particular constituency are very key. And also oversight of a particular issues attaching to that constituency. And therefore, when a constituency moves a full year without a representative, it is making hard time for that particular constituency. In this particular case, I'm saying this particular committee has a very short schedule, because they must learn with this by-election very quickly, and probably by March next year, they should have gone through all the by-elections. And therefore, they should now embark with civic education, because they must take this as an obligation, because they must educate Kenyans. Kenyans must know what is needed, what are their timelines, and everything. They must also open. Note, from when the commission ceased to be in operation, no single person is registered. And therefore, including all centers in every constituency were closed. Nobody was taking any work there. And therefore, they have a duty to make sure that they reopen all the constituency offices, IBC offices, so that we can have a daily registration of Kenyans. And thereafter, they should make a timetable where the registration will be free for everybody at the centers of the wards. And finally, what I am heading to is this Lagat's statement.
Yes.
You have members of parliament chesting that no single president served 1 term in this country. I would tell them we loot for a qualification to become a president. You must go through ballot. And therefore, it is not anywhere by any other design, but must be through the people's voice. And therefore, after 5 years, the people of Kenya will move to an election and will they cast a decision. And out of that decision is what will determine whether William Ruto will serve this country the 2nd term or not. And therefore, not Sudi, who should be lacking to Kenyans on this kind of statement. Number 2, we have somebody like Kamket. He is on a public record stating that they have the keys of taking a president to 20 years. This is wrong, because it is telling us you have another secret weapon somewhere that we don't know. We, as Kenyans, we believe it is the IBC which calls for a particular direction and gives the timeline to an election. But if members of parliament somewhere chest dumping, that they know the results even before this particular matter is taken to the framework, then we have to understand what is this that you know, and this country is not a country elected through, coming through a revolution, is a country coming through an election. And therefore we are saying they should stop, and they should stop these reckless statements, and they should allow this commission now to take charge and give Kenyans a direction.
So these reckless statements, do they constitute to hate speech? Is it within the purview of the National Cohesion and Integration Commission to actually bring Kamket, to bring Fatuma Jeho, we have Oscar Sudi as well as Joseph Makilap, to answer questions of reckless talking? Because if you're talking about sowing discord, does it really substantiate to be a hate speech?
Pursuant to my earlier comments on selective justice or selective way of handling our national matters, I want to tell you, if from this station I dare say that Kalonzo Musyoka will be president, and if his votes will not be enough, we will add them. If I dare say that, Subarus will be out here. For me to explain, or Kakuya to explain, how we will steal for Kalonzo in 2027. Today, we have people on public gallery speaking with microphones in rallies, printed on newspapers, saying we will steal, and there is nobody who is questioning you. What does that tell you? Just read that statement, or read what you are reading today, and conjoin it with a statement issued by the chairman of IBC. Okay? I saw something trading saying that the chairman said there are ghost voters. Okay? We will remove about this number from this area, from that area. What does that tell you? This chairman has just been sworn in. Okay? And before he walks to the office, he knows how many ghost voters are out there. If you are intelligent enough, you will know this person has been informed from a different quarter, or whatever he's saying is not from his own finding. He's been given a brief. When you go there, go do 1, 2, 3, because this is what we want as a section of Kenyans, or as a section, or the regime that is there. This is what we want. We want you to go and subtract votes from this region and that region, and add more from that region and that region. So whatever we are seeing is a clear picture of electoral rigging from the start. When the chairman have not even sat, he's telling Kenyans that they are ghosts. How do you become suddenly so clever and you have all the information about who is registered where and who died when? And I mean, Kenyans.
But we cannot really contextualize from what realities he's speaking from. Right?
Listen, I am enlightened. I am a Kenyan, and I live in this country, and I have been a leader in this country. Okay? I know how government works. So for the chairman to be sworn in and straight from KICC, on your way you are telling us how many votes you are going to deduct, any diligent person will read what is in your mind. I read what you are not telling me.
So you think he's
I listen to what chairman is not telling us. I don't listen to what he's saying. I listen to what he is not saying. And what I hear is a loud message that is reading from a script which has been made from somewhere else, not his own.
All right.
So what I'm saying is that there is the wish of the government or the sitting regime and the supporters who are my good friends, Sudi, Kamket, who have been my colleagues, And what they want is the current president to stay in power by whichever means necessary, but not through democracy. And that's why they are telling you, we are ready and we will steal. But I have a message for them, that all the votes will be casted to Kalonzo Musyoka and they have no vote to steal. That's the message. But whatever they want to do with that message is their problem. But that is the truth, and that is what will happen in this country.
But why are you holding brief for Kalonzo Musyoka? He's not here to speak for himself.
It's my opinion. It's my opinion, and I'm sharing my opinion. I'm telling, the way they are saying they will steal, I'm telling them there will be no votes to steal, because all the votes will be casted into one basket. Unless they come and steal that basket, and we will be there to guide those votes. We will guard them. They will never get a chance to steal even one single vote.
But why do you speak for Kalonzo Musyoka? He's not declared that he's running for...
I declare for him.
Yeah.
I'm declaring.
You cannot just declare for him.
Why is Sudi declaring for Ruto?
But you cannot use this podium to just declare for Kalonzo Musyoka.
I have not declared. I'm saying I'm supporting. If I say I support him, is that a crime?
No.
I have my constitutional right to support any candidate.
Indeed, but not declaring that... Yes.
I have heard people, and that's the same thing I'm saying, I have heard people declaring support for Ruto. We have some lined here saying that they will steal. So what I'm saying, that they will have no reason, there will no vote to steal, because we have somebody whom we will put there and will guard the votes. That's what I'm saying.
Well, thank you. Let me just come to Gakuya and ask you this question, where we're talking about, because the chair himself has spoken about the credibility and using of technology. And we know technology has been also the bone of contention when it comes to IBC and with the KIMS kit. We've known what really happened, even just relaying of that information. So centrality of technology will be also a big issue for this particular commission currently. Do you trust the use of technology as it is? Or should we take it notch higher, that we can use blockchain, which cannot be tampered with completely? How prepared are we? And to also follow with that particular question, the 57.4 billion shillings that the IBC is seeking, is it justifiable?
First and foremost, let me say, Kenya is grown enough, and where we are, we need now to move to total digital election. Because what happened is that we are using both the new technology and the other hard copy. Because you must walk to a polling station to cast a vote. We need to go a niche higher and now move to the world new modest technology of election, where you can even vote when you are at your own house, at your own home. Remember, Kenya, if you have taken a vote in Nairobi and somehow you are in Mombasa during the voting day, that vote is lost, because you can't vote it at anywhere else except where you took the vote. But when we go full tech, you can vote wherever you are, because your vote is accountable wherever you are. That is a stage that we must agree to move, and it is fine, because we need to move completely to digital and digitalize election to the level of international level. Number two is that every change comes with cost, and that will also require some extra budget to reach that level. I would say the 56 billion may not be justifiable, but I would say anything like half that amount can take this country to an election.
Half that amount?
Half that amount.
So you think that particular quotation is way exaggerated?
It's very exaggerated. It's very exaggerated.
Right, but you're talking about technology of international standards. That will also come with a good amount of...
But I can tell you for sure, this particular commission has not even told us if they are ready to move full digital, and whether this budget is to move this country to full digital. And time is not there. Do they want to tell us that, in fact, we have even enough time to transform to this level? Then what they should do tell Kenyans is, when they think that if in their own planning they are convinced that they can be able to introduce the whole new technology, a new digital technology in this particular election, All they are agitating to another coming election. I am finding this election too late. We have only 2 years to go, and taking the tasks behind, I am not seeing that migration, that transformation having a chance at the point in time we are in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Matambo, you want also to comment on this? IBC and the technology, that's the central issue around also the chair, that they will deploy heightened technology.
You see, every budget is itemized, and I would only criticize an item which is overpriced or over-budgeted. So if the budget is itemized and they know what they're asking for and they will know that they will do it, the only thing we are looking at the implementation time. If they say they will go full digital, does that mean it will happen like what my friend is talking about, Kakuya, that will be free to vote from Mukurweni if I'm voting for Mwingi? Like the way our banks works. If you go to Uganda, you will withdraw your money and you will get it. You will not be told, go back to the station or to the branch which you opened your account. But in an election, it's a totally different thing, that you have to vote from where you registered your vote. Are they going to change that, and is it possible? Is it humanly possible to do it within the period which we have? Because we are in technology world, and some of us are conversant with the IT technology and how it takes, the time it takes to build one and to implement it. You need to test that thing to make sure that it is proof-tested, that there will be no issues with it, and I don't see it happening within this short period. And we have a lot of constitutional requirement there in between. Like boundary review is a constitutional requirement. Are we going to meet it? Do we have time to do so? I am not so much keen with what people are saying, curricular report, which recommended. But you know, that is not the law. The law is that you create new constitution, you review your boundaries within 10 years. That is what I would focus on, because that's the law. The other one is just a proposal by a committee. You need to do this and you need to do that. It has not been made or entrenched in our constitution. So I would focus on what the constitution says when it comes to matters of election. And when it comes to matters of boundary review, matters of election, I would concentrate more on what the law says. So the question is, the budget they are asking, is it towards what is described by the law? Are they going to review the boundaries? Are they going to give us a new technology? Will that technology be waterproof, that it will have no leakages or anything? Will they have enough time to proof test the system? So all those things, but all being said, elections must be there in 2027, despite call from other people. I had some narrative from a good friend of mine saying there will be no election in 2027. I want to tell them we will hold election in 2027. It will be there.
According to the timelines of the Constitution, yes.
Yes. We will have to abide to our Constitution.
But he was speaking from the point of we are really pitched for time. As far as IBC is concerned, then we didn't have a commission. When he was speaking, commission is here
budget
right now.
Has already been proposed.
And you're questioning also the veracity of information that the chair is having regarding the voter registration. That all the
no, you should not go to that route. Because it's taking this country to a different, it's leading this country to a muddy
But you're
road.
talking as if it's shooting in the dark without any prior information.
No, he has information from somewhere.
Yeah, from the Secretariat. We of course, there is a commission and the Secretariat.
How do you know you got it from Secretariat?
Of course, there's a Secretariat which has been working as well. So they are not really coming out and
we are elite of this country. We are elite of this country. We know what goes on. We know who speaks from where. That Secretariat has been there since IBC started.
Yes.
Is this the high time now they are seeing they have ghost voters? Why did they say that last election? Why did they say that during Kibaki's time, Uhuru's time, now Ruto's time? When we go now to election is when they are realizing they have a ghost? My friend, come on, tell me something else.
How then do they engender trust? Because there are people saying there should be a continuous dialogue between IBC and the public for accountability cases, for them to really try and restore that particular trust that is lost with the IBC right now, knowing that we have a huge constituents of Gen Zs who want to register right now, because looking ahead, even as we've had Dr. Matiangi just recently talking that particular moment that we're heading towards 2027, that will be an inflection point for this country. It will be a 2002 moment. How do they start to engender trust? Should they be holding public participation dialogue on how they can imbue that trust again?
The IBC, as we speak, and from what we saw and what we heard from the chairman, they are destructing, they are the one who are demolishing their trust.
Right.
Because when you come in and you start shooting to the hip, shooting yourself on hip, okay? And Kenyans are enlightened. The Gen Z you are talking about, they know everything. They are well informed. There is nobody we are going to teach today. We know everything. So what IBC need to do is to watch their steps and to watch what kind of information they are giving out there. As they are cautioning members as they are cautioning politicians on how to handle their speeches, they should also look at themselves. What are we telling Kenyans? Because the moment you tell Kenyans something which they know, whatever you are saying has been crafted somewhere else, then they are damaging their credibility, IBC itself. So if I were the chairman, I would become non-partisan, and do things the way they are supposed to be done by the law, and avoid some unnecessary issues bringing to the people. Because the moment you start telling people now, there's this, there's that will not get this right, this, you are messing yourself.
Right.
That's my advice to...
One of the commissioners, Mr. Mhwana, is actually saying, the issue of trust deficit in Kenya is not because of IBC, it is because of a political culture.
Let us all agree that there is the reason why the authors of the Constitution put this particular commission to the independent commission's position. That independence commission means it should appear, participate, work, control itself without outside influences. This trust can only be built by the outcome of their mission. Are they there? Because we have an example of the last election where the Cherera 4 distanced and shoved out of the total number of 7 and moved to Selena to make a statement and leave behind the 3. And the intention was purely an outside influence. In this case, we have serious issues on how this particular commission came to the fore. And we have issues of the late introduction of 5 new names. Out of the 5 names, 1 was picked. And these were questions that were never answered. That goes past now that particular stage, that the court has given an approval for the whole team to proceed. What we are going to ask as Kenyans is that we would like the face of this particular commission to be as clear as white. Because we have Kevoito, who took this country to ban in the elections held in 2007. This is a matter that we do not want this country to get back to these dark days. And therefore, our biggest intention is that this commission will operate as stipulated by the Constitution, that they operate independently. We do not want to hear or to see a particular arm twisting this particular commission. Kenya is known of a state where we have what we call the state capture. And this state capture we have already moved beyond the executive to the parliament and to the parts of sections of the judiciary. It can also move to an IBC commission. And as a Kenyans, we are saying we would like to see very independent, and therefore chairman has a duty to take control, make sure that he clears his name, and make sure that he gives Kenya an outcome of an election that has no doubt. We should want to see an election where election is free, fair, and verifiable. And that's only time we can say we have seen a very justifiable process. This is between the rock and the hard stone.
I'm interested to know, because you mentioned that he should clear his name. Is his name besmirched in any way?
There were talks of he is a friend. He worked with the former governor of Turkana, but those are elements of
speculation.
Of pride.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, in fact, those fears that maybe his connection with that governor may bring outside influence is where he must stand firm to work for Kenya and not to be seen being micromanaged from any corner.
All right, because if you go to your family tree, you'll find at least you're connected to anyone in this country.
True.
I mean, all the roots are percolating everywhere. So if we try and that should be the entry point.
But this is Kenya, and we are human.
Yes.
It's Kenya, and we are human, and we know how things are being micromanaged. We are only saying we do not want to see any such kind of element in this process.
Yes, so for now we can give him a benefit of doubt that he's coming with a clean slate.
As of now,
yes,
we have no problem.
He starts from the clean slate.
And also I want to clear something.
Yes.
That the statement that he made, if he's the one who made that statement, he made that statement before he took oath of an office. And therefore, I don't believe that in fact he had any
access to information.
Yes. When before he's swearing in, because he has only to get into that particular office and sit on that particular office and allowed to peruse a file when he sweared in.
Maybe Honorable Matabu, you will clarify for us. Was it made before he took office or after he took?
It was.
Because I'm not privy to that information.
He was already gazetted, but not sworn in.
He was gazetted, not sworn in?
Yes.
Yes, but between gazettement and the swearing in, you cannot have access to information.
You cannot. No. You are chairman by name.
Even you yourself, you can have access to that information. That's why even I wanted
but to... But you cannot make
just a moment. I wanted just to orient...
Like
No. Yeah, you cannot make a pronunciation like that, you can say, but you can have access to information. And that's why I wanted to ask Honorable Mutambo on this as well. What prevents you from verifying this particular voter register? You have the Access to Information Act. Any other Kenyan can walk to IBC and say, I want the voter register. I want to peruse it. What prevents you from actually doing that? If you have misgivings regarding the IBC chair making this pronouncement, what prevents you?
Knowing that we have cost either workers.
That's what I'm saying.
That's where I'm going to.
Yes.
Knowing, having to get the knowledge or to get the information of the ghost workers, ghost voters, is not just by pronouncement. You need a forensic audit.
That's what I'm asking you.
That's what I'm telling you. We have never had IBC advertising forensic audit to the voters of this country. We've never had. And I don't need to be a rocket scientist to know somebody is talking from an informed or from a script. From a script which emanated from somewhere else. I don't need to be a rocket scientist because I know the process and the procedures of a public officer.
Mr. Mutambo, I'm asking you, what prevents you not to go and verify this register?
How do you verify there is no forensic audit? You need to have a forensic audit to know that so and so died this particular date. When did you get the birth certificate of those voters? When? And you have not even... This guy was doing some other... We meet in the street. I know where we meet. I meet him in the street. And he was doing other businesses until he was appointed. So he had no business. Do you know who is now the legit nurse in this country or doctor? Because you have no interest. You don't go there and just peruse papers. So saying that he had information, it is like he knew that he would become the chair, and then he went to get...
We're living in a very different epoch of time.
What we are saying, let me tell you, I can tell you it is raining when I see clouds. I'll tell you it will rain when I see clouds. So I'll tell you, this person is speaking from information which he got from somewhere else, and is being directed to do something. What he's telling us It is only a fool who will not understand. But somebody who has mind will know. Because for you, before, the law is very clear. Even for a member of parliament, you get elected, you are gazetted. Until you are sworn in, you don't go to parliament to pass laws. You don't. So you cannot tell me I was nominated as a chair and immediately I get all the information of the institution before I take over the office. Hello? No.
All right, I'm not privy to that information. I'll try and verify. Just moving on. But let me turn also the crack of the conversation here to what is happening currently. You had said under the question about the aspiration of Senior Counsel Kalonzo Musyoka. He's not really, declared that, yes, he's running for presidency. We have Martha Karua, who has declared that she's running for presidency, that she'll no longer be, a running mate anymore. She's done with the business of the running mate. You are a staunch supporter of course, DCP and the former deputy Rigathi Gachagua as well. So him being together with Martha Karua in Seattle and making this pronouncement, is it coming as a surprise for you? Or is Martha Karua going it alone? Or is this now the position of the United Opposition of Kenya?
Thank you for that question. And the answer to that is that I'm very close to this particular movement. And what I'm very sure is that there's an agreement between the leadership of this movement. This be it Kalonzo Musyoka, part of it, Justin Muturi, Martha Karua, Rigathi Gachagua, Natembeya, Wamarwa, Matiangi. Unless one of them decides to quit from the movement. The agreement of the movement is that all of them, and especially Wamarwa, Matiangi, Wangari, Martha, Gachagua, and Kalonzo, they are candidates. And they have declared their candidacy. And let me tell you, they have every freedom to move out to look for votes, wherever they are. But there is an agreement that at the tail end, they will converge to a center where they will pick one of them to be the coalition flag bearer. And that is not yet, but I'm sure by the time we cross 2006, we will be at that space. We are not on hurry to look for this one candidate. We know the mischievous also machinations of this government. So even though we might know who among us is a proposed candidate, we can't leak it for now. We should wait until a later date.
So everyone makes pronouncements?
So
everyone makes, I'm running for presidency. Matiangi here, I'm running for presidency. Eugene Omalo, I'm running for presidency. So this is a strategy?
What stops me from saying I'm running for presidency? What crime? What stops me?
You're a united opposition.
So there is freedom in that united opposition. There is freedom. There is a freedom for candidates to come out, for people to aspire.
I thought maybe you should speak from one voice when it comes to the candidature of a presidency.
He has explained to you.
So in the meantime, is everyone for his own?
For now, you must show interest for you to be in that pool of selection. If you don't show interest of being a candidate, who will pick you? So you have to show interest. And to show interest is to show that you are capable. And you must have people behind you. So that's how politics are played. It cannot be that we keep quiet, that nobody will come out, we wait for an angel to come and pick us. No. You have to show what you got. You have to show that you have the support from across the country, you have the resources, you have people around you, you have to show it to the other team. Even during Uhuru and Ruto, everybody was a candidate. Until last time when they sat down and said, this is now the presidential bearer, this is the deputy, I was there. So everybody was gunning from his corner. Ruto was saying, I'm a presidential candidate. You remember when he was going around with this URP? He was going around with this URP, with his members. Kina Kazungu from Coast, he was the one who was carrying that horn, and he's the one who was blowing it for Ruto. So why is it now is a question today when it is Matiangi, Kalonzo and the rest? It happened like that during Ruto.
But why put the public in a wild goose chase? Because we already
There's
know.
no wild goose.
No. It is a wild goose chase because we already know that we have it on good authority that Kalonzo Musyoka is going to be running as the presidential bearer of the United Opposition, with Eugene Wamalwa as the running mate. Right?
That time will come.
He's already known. So now when you're playing all this jiggery-pokery, sort of political slate of hands that, we have Martha Karua pronouncing, we have former Deputy, President Rigathi Gachagua also announcing, we have everyone, so that, we are just making monkeys out of Kenyans. We already know.
But this political strategy.
What strategy is this? We already know.
No, you don't know.
Yeah, we already know.
What you know is not correct.
So maybe if we come here and we sit on this particular panel, you'll prove me wrong.
In fact, you have indicated that Kalonzo is a presidential candidate, a flag bearer, and Wamalwa is running mate.
Yes.
It is not correct.
It is not correct.
And I'm not going to argue that.
It is not correct. Let's hear from, maybe he is privy to that particular information since this is coming from his party. Will you deny that?
I would say that the presidential candidate for that coalition has not been named yet.
He's not been named.
How you process that information?
But is that in the pipeline?
Yes. The process of naming the presidential candidate is in the pipeline.
These two particular pairs, is that in the pipeline?
Which one?
Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa.
There are so many. There is even Mutamba Nikaguya. I want him to be my deputy. So what's the problem with that? And we are in the same coalition.
Okay.
There are so many.
What we're saying is,
there are so many.
What we're saying is spare us this particular political slates of hands because we can already see what is happening. Just spare Kenyans. We just know, okay, these are the two candidates that you've chosen. But my question would be, we have a different constituents here who are the Gen Zs, right? And I'm wondering what is up your collective sleeves on how you're going to engage the Gen Zs, because the politics of the day has changed completely. And we're running away from the brands of politics that we've had in this country for the longest time. You're talking about the tribalism and ethnicity that has taken us, in very dangerous zones before, and people also are seeing it happening right now. And Gakuya, I'll come to you and ask you that particular question, because I think from your particular camp, you have been perpetrating these cousins and, Kuzo, hi Kuzos, hi Mshemeji mantra. First of all, you're the one who's saying, hey, let us now uncouple our politics from these tribal lines and this tribal sort of cocoons that we've been in. What is so dramatically different with the Hai Kuzo and Hai Shemejis? What is that?
If today nobody is questioning why today in the broadcast we have Raila Ruto, are we questioning? We are not questioning. Nobody is talking, even revealing where their roots come from. Nobody is questioning. And there is nothing wrong to salute your cousins as cousins. There is nothing wrong to salute your Semenji as Semenji.
But why now? Why now? Why now? Heading towards 2027.
Always.
We've never been addressing one another as high cousin and high Semenji.
Just give me a minute.
Yes.
There is always a platform of a callers. We had a callers of William Ruto, of bottom up. It was a callers which took him to the top. If cousins can work together, if cousins can join head together, there's no, because in this particular country, there is no mechanism on how you can earn votes. What is given by the Constitution is the threshold of 50+1. It does not matter how you are going to earn to secure them. It's upon you, because actually if you are running for a position, it's upon you to look for mechanism. What kind of callers? What are your strategies to win numbers? If you think that saluting your neighbors in Semeji, in cousins, will add you a coil, what's wrong with that?
So why would it really be so different with the hustler and the dynasty narrative that we had before, where people are saying now you're actually trying to drive a chasm between the hustlers and with the political class at the end of the day? How discernibly different is that?
In fact, I can tell you for sure, the hustlers versus the rich, it never worked. Because the hustlers are still at the stage they were that time. So what I can tell you, hustlers were conned, and they were politically conned. Because they were conned and they rallied behind somebody's manifesto, whose manifesto was not committed to the cause. Today, we are not saying anything because we are not saying cousins or Semeji are going to do it. But we are saying, is it wrong to talk? Is it wrong to have a cause together? It's nothing wrong. I even tell you, this particular team will reach every corner of this country. Even though even the time we move to Northeastern, those are Semeji. Even though when we get to Lake Victoria, those are Semeji. Let me tell you, greet people with the relationship you have. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, you are not you are not distancing or closing anybody out of the movement.
Which no one is really questioning.
But you want to reach out everybody.
No. Which no one is really questioning whether it's Semejis or cousins or not. The question we're asking, why is it providentially timely right now to actually have this particular narrative? Because we know in this country, and you're talking about political...
It's a bit over time.
No. We're talking about political conmanship, and we're talking about political brickmanship, and these have become the electoral assets that are being used as we're heading towards general election. And it can be, very, very dangerous narratives that we're raising, where everyone is trying to run away from tribalism and negative ethnicity.
You are getting it wrong. Political slogans are there every election.
Indeed. Which don't really talk.
Yes. Will I offend you if I call you my brother? Will I offend you?
Well, it depends when you...
No. If I refer you as my brother, as a Kenyan brother, will I offend you? Will I offend you when I call you my sister? So why is it becoming an offense when I call you my cousin?
It depends on the context of where you're calling me a brother or a sister.
I'm saying,
if you
will I offend you?
Black and blue here and you call me a brother...
If I refer you as my brother, will I offend you?
That's what I'm asking. If you beat me black and blue here and you call me a brother, how will I take that to be brotherhood?
So how many people, how many leaders address Kenyans, my dear brothers, my dear sisters? Why are we not getting offense of that? So why is it a cousin is an offense? Why is it an aunt is an offense? Why is it uncle is an offense? I don't get it. So what I'm saying is that every election has got its dynamics. Mm-hmm. And people associate themselves with the mood of that day. We were treated to a narrative of wheelbarrow, and we took it. We pushed the wheelbarrows across. Mm-hmm. Okay? Why were we not questioning then? We were treated to a tinga-tinga. We pushed it. We were treated to a jogo. We pushed it. We were treated to so many symbols of any characters. So that is what happens in politics. You must identify yourself with a slogan which will propel your propaganda with. So it is not a crime. It's politics. And that is how politics is played.
But I'm not really...
so there's nothing wrong.
I have no qualms with sloganeering. I'm just having qualms with sloganeering that are very providentially, put within particular time or, churned out within a particular time. That's why I'm asking, why am I becoming a brother and being endeared to at this particular moment? Why am I becoming a sister and being endeared to at this particular moment?
The Bible tells you there's time for everything. There is a time to call your brother. There is a time to call your cousin. There is a time to call your doctor. There is a time to call your lawyer. Now this is the time to call all brothers to come together because Kenyans feel oppressed and we need to come out of that oppression.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Even the Bible has, you can take a text, use it as a pretext and quote it out of context. That's why you can say even there the Bible has a time for everything as well. So there's time for everything.
When the Bible talks of brethren, it takes care of a cross. It does not exclude anybody. So in fact, even in this one, anybody can be a cousin. There's no single boundaries that categorize that cousins are up to this territory. No, it has not come that way. We have seen this movement in Maasai land and well received and having the slogans that can fit with the Maasai.
All right.
They will move over the whole country and let me tell you, unite the country onto their movement using those nice relationship words, which is okay. Right. You are wooing votes. Okay. And you must resonate yourself to the people.
You're quoting the Bible. Of course, also I like the Bible. The same Bible says, behold how good and beautiful it is for us to dwell together as brethren. Yeah? For it is like, the oil of Aaron being poured on the head and following down to the beards as well. I wanted to ask in that particular context, this brotherhood, is it inclusive of the Kenya Kwanza government? Are they your cousins?
Let me tell you.
Are they your brothers and sisters?
Let me tell you first.
Or it is just a selective brotherhood that we're talking and sisterhood we're talking about?
I can tell you there is no tribal lines. There is no divisions.
That's what I'm asking.
Everybody is inclusive because when you
they are your cousins as well.
Let me tell you, when you are talking and you are wooing Kenyans, it has no any single territory. You cause today, we know even those who are in Kenya Kwanza government, they are robbed their pay slips. And actually, they are part of this particular movement. It's only that today, they are serving a particular regime today. After the exit of this regime, all of them will flock to this movement.
Oh, so there's going to be a mass exit?
Yes, there will be a mass exit.
It is just technicality that is holding them there in Kenya Kwanza?
This one, hey, we are in social medias and therefore we understand what is cooking.
You know, when we are looking for votes...
We should be winding up.
Yeah, when you are looking for votes, you look for votes from everyone. And as I sit here, I want to ask William Samoei Ruto to vote for Kalonzo Musyoka 2027. Because that's how it should be. You ask anybody, every person, whether they will vote you in or not, you ask votes for them. You don't choose. You ask all Kenyans, because this is a presidential election, and you ask all Kenyans to vote for you. So, as person who is supporting Kalonzo Musyoka, I want to ask one man in this country to vote for Kalonzo Musyoka, and that is Ruto. I want this vote for Kalonzo Musyoka.
Ruto will be...
So, there is nothing wrong with that.
He will be a presidential candidate. 2 terms. They're running for a second term.
There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm a bit, I don't know, we don't have much time.
Yes, we should be winding up now.
We have dived into politics, and there's something hurting Kenyans. We just got a fuel hike.
Yes.
To 8 shillings.
That is due to externalities that, we have just to abide with right now, because they're saying this 9 shillings actually is due to the Israel-Iran war. So I know life will become a bit harder and harder.
Did it start yesterday?
The war?
Yeah.
It didn't start. But of course that was coming. That was bound to come.
I hope you don't work for...
I'm not holding brief for anyone. I'm not holding brief for everyone. That was bound to... so it is now the government to try and cushion Kenyans with this particular development that we do have. But of course, we're living in hard times.
Let me tell you, let us not fool Kenyans. We know we have something we call G2G.
Yes.
In petroleum procurement.
Yes.
And we bought from Middle East.
Yes.
And our path from Middle East to Kenya does not pass Israel. Neither does it pass, I don't know where. Yeah. And those people, they don't import fuel from Israel or from Russia. They produce them from... So whatever narrative we are trying to bring to cover up...
Let's not be washed by it. Yeah.
Now.
Yes, we had Honorable Kipruto Arapkir was saying this was a gangster-to-gangster deal. So what you're really saying, I hope is not really coming to play right now, that is a gangster-to-gangster deal that has taken this particular narrative of Israel and Iran war to hike the prices. But we know also the Strait of Hormuz, that was bound to be blocked by the Iranians as well. So this could be taking a longer route to bring the ships here. It could be. I'm just saying, I'm not holding a narrative, holding brief.
We know our road. We know our road from Middle East. We know it very well.
You know it very well?
We know the map, yeah.
You know the map.
And before you speak to me, you need to convince me why you are increasing fuel. There are other factors. We may say that the currencies, the dollar, blah, 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 blah. But our service provider is Middle East. If that G2G deal exists, and we know the route they take, and we know how they extract their oil, and we know the prices they put across the board. So we know all those, we are informed, okay? So to tell Kenyans we are increasing price because of Israel, that one I will not take.
Right, it's really taken us back. Everyone was really happy that the fuel was going down. Let's get our closing remarks from you, Lukuya, briefly.
One, let us all agree that it is not justifiable to say that the battle between Israelites and Gaza is a key to what we call a fuel rise, because this has not started yesterday. And we have survived with it. We have also survived with the Ukraine-Russia war, and we have a stomach all the effects of those kind of crises. It is important that if there is an area where a ship cannot be able to pass, there is always an area to reroute that particular the consignment. And therefore, there is not to be anything serious to say that, in fact, the route will make a magnitude change of the liter of fuel. But therefore, I think the far we have gone this crisis already on, and we have survived. So we don't require to see a big change for now. So because there is nothing different.
So you don't think the rerouting can really be costly?
The time has been there, and ships have been rerouting. And we have been always in terms with the rates.
All right, let's hear from Honorable Joe Motambo, your closing remarks.
When we say rerouting from where to where? Where do we buy from? And where do we take it from? And what is our route? Those are the questions, and it's in black and white. Go to your Google. It will tell you we bought from this country to Kenya, and look at your map.
So it doesn't really pass on the Strait of Oz?
No, look at where Iran is. Look at where Iran is.
Where the supply chain is.
Look at where Iran is, and where the country we are we are procuring from, and where Kenya is. Just look at your map. You don't need to be a rocket scientist.
But it goes through the Strait of Oz as well.
That's what I'm saying. Look at the map. So
but I'm telling you, it goes through the Strait of Oz.
What I'm trying to say is that the area where the conflict is does not affect our route. Simple as that, simple English. Where the conflict, they are fighting there, we are importing from this other end. It does not come together. It's two different worlds. Anyway, that is, we don't expect anything more or better from this government. We expected the fuel to rise.
Yes.
We expected Lagat to go back to the office. Mm-hmm. We don't expect justice for our good friend who died, and we don't expect the abduction to end because it is still continuing, and it will still continue. We have seen a very big headline here on Standard. Mm-hmm. Okay, the chief is there. You don't know what to do. The love for the daughter or the love for the job. Torn in between. Indeed. And what happened? You see, all those things are coming. We are getting them on daily basis. If we were not getting them, we would say, yes, government is doing something. But if they are being done every other day, then what hope do we have as Kenyans that it will come to an end?
Thank you.
Thank you. Big disaster.
All right, Joe Mutambo, thank you very much from our MP, Mwingi Central. I really do appreciate your insight this morning. Thank you for coming through. James Gakuya as well, thank you for showing up today. Sabina Shege was meant to be here, so in case you just are flipping on the channel and you're wondering, oh, what's really happening, that we have just the two of them. Sabina was meant to be here, at least to neutralize the conversation, and we hear also the voice from the Kenya Kwanza regime as well. But I want to thank you, gentlemen, so much for that very cogent, incisive conversation that we've had. And we do pray as well that, yes, we continue apace on looking out what will be happening with the IBC moving forward with the voter registration, just as has been put here, that even we do have ghost workers, not really ghost workers, but ghost registered voters in this particular record. So that has to be streamlined as well. Thank you very much for your valued company. As always, they say, in essentials unity, in non-essentials liberty, in all things charity. Let us hold firm to the things that we trust and value very much about this country. Thank you. May you have a good day. Don't go away. Up next is Annie with more conversations with the youth and how also they are shaking into place as far as the economy is concerned, knowing that today it is World Youth Skills Day.